prayer really works. It really works. And I would like to explain how that works. Because everything is energy and everything is inspiration. So everything that is being created, everything that happens in your life comes from inspiration. And inspiration is everything. And inspiration is God. God is energy. It is unconditional, which means that it's nothing, but it's also everything. So you have an intention, and that intention is what creates an ambition. And that ambition is thoughts and emotions that are congruent with that ambition born from an intention. And then you take actions and you move stuff and you create stuff and you invest that energy back into a belief in that ambition and that intention. And when that is a wheel of fortune, a wheel that is congruent all the way, then it's a success. Then it works. Then you work. Then you are a functional human being. Because going against yourself and mistreating yourself and not believing in yourself is not successful. It is not natural, actually, in the context of love and expansiveness and all of these things. But why does prayer always work? It works so well that it never ever fails, because everything is energy and energy is feeling. So whatever you say and whatever you think is something that triggers a feeling, and that feeling is what's being sent out, and you will get a response of what that feeling, what that frequency is. So if you pray in despair, you will get a reflection of what you fail to understand. So you will always get what you need. You will always get what you need where you are on your journey having a human experience. So I am fantastic in a lot of areas, but when it comes to names, I am a sucker. But there is a guy, it's a black guy in America. He's a stand-up comedian and he has a show with relational topics, family topics. His name is Steve. He has a mustache. And I love him. He's such an inspiration. But names, yeah. But anyway, he said, don't be ashamed to pray. And if you think about it, what you want is conviction. You want positive conviction in your subconscious mind. And everything is energy and everything is feeling. So you can say something that is confident, but if you don't feel confident, you will impress your subconscious with insecurity. You see? And that's perfect, because then you will get a reflection of that teaches you that you are behaving insecure coming from within, as you remain humble and interpret and reflect on what's going on in your life and stay away from being punished and never meant to be and all of these doubtful thoughts. But if you are ashamed to pray, you will impress your subconscious with shame. So if you feel ashamed to say, I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am amazing, I am a genius. When I say that, I feel that. And that's the feeling that I impress the subconscious with. The words are just a trigger. The words trigger a feeling, and that feeling is what impresses my subconscious, which goes back to God. And God is all about positivity and love and expansiveness and construction and the new and becoming more and unfolding and blossoming. So you are congruent with the source that brings you everything, that gives you everything. And Steve talked about a period in his life when he was struggling and he was living in his car and he just broke down in prayer, in tears, because he just had enough. He had enough. He was done. And that's actually a human being that has been living without gratitude in relation to the source of creation, God, the source of love, the source of all inspiration that gives us everything. And you can do that for a while, and it becomes so demanding. And eventually you will be exhausted and you will break down in humility and just please. And I've been through that myself. And that's a natural way to go. Some come to that point and they commit suicide. And I understand that, because you're so exhausted and nothing happens and you cannot see the light even though it's a blue sky outside. But it's all about your own gratitude, it's all about your own acknowledgement, and it's all about your general state of feeling for yourself, which is your life, because you are your life. You cannot have your life without yourself. So you need to pray. You need to communicate with the source of all creation, because you will get exactly what you need every time. And then you act on that. Just as I said with the intention, ambition, thought, emotion, action, in congruence with what is constructive, expansive, and loving, that is exactly the same when you pray, but you are not in a place of perceivable success. But you are in success. You are always in success. You are just in a different place, because the success story is not a specific day, like, and then it's not like that. Success is loving and acknowledging yourself and feeling grateful and feeling good enough and praising and appreciating yourself, which is your life. So you must appreciate life. And then you embrace your journey wherever you are, and you pray to receive more. And that is not being spoiled, because you deserve so much more. You deserve it all. You deserve the entire earth and all the connections and all the possibilities. Every single one of us human beings deserve that. So you can see how important it is to feel value, to value yourself, to feel worthy, because it's everything. It's everything. And how can you value yourself if you mistreat yourself? That means that you are holding on to resistance. You have some form of justification within you that you struggle with, that you can lose at any time if you ask God, if you ask the source of inspiration, the pure, unconditional love, to help you. And it will bring the shit to the surface, and you will be able to polish it and turn that into something else. That's what happens. But as you stay quiet and as you stay defensive and you hold on to all those justifications and you don't want to forgive anybody and you don't want to forgive yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. And some say that God punishes, but God cannot punish and God cannot judge, because God is unconditional love. It is we who punish ourselves. And that is great. That is fantastic. Because otherwise we could treat love and abuse love any way we wanted. And that's not a functional world. That's not a functional human experience in living in a world of love. When you mistreat yourself, you will get anxiety. And that's painful. Why you get anxiety from mistreating yourself is because you are abusing love. You are abusing the love you have. You are in a state of self-sabotage that you can get out of if you become humble before God. And that last statement is something that I didn't understand in an abstract way at all many years ago. I have to be humble before God, like the dude. But that's bullshit. You have to be humble before you receive. So you have to be humble before you receive what you wish for. What you wish for and what you value the most, even though you cannot see that maybe, is love. Because you don't want anything in life without love. Because love is the greatest feeling, it's the highest value. There is nothing else like love. And the more love you feel for yourself, the more you appreciate your life. And that's what you're looking for. That's what you are praying for. That's what you are searching for. And you have to be humble before you receive. And humble and grateful go together. They're one and the same. So you have to be humble to return back to, how can I make things better? How can I be more loving and appreciative and grateful in relation to myself and my life, which includes everything and everyone? And if you don't know that, you reflect, you pause, and if you wonder about it, you pray. And the source of love, who's unconditional, will just give you whatever you need, where you are. That's how it works. And the feeling cannot be faked. You can fake it to an extent, but if you are miserable, you are miserable for a reason. And if you jump from miserable to ecstatic and you live in ecstasy, in such joy, that will end at some point. And the contrast from you being so miserable, now living in the extreme joy that comes to an end, will kill you. I promise. Because the contrast will be so vast. So if you feel happy, joyful, and grateful just for being alive, and then you receive more, what happens when that goes away? You just revert back to the feeling of being appreciative and humble and grateful for life in general. It's a general state of being. It's a general feeling. So you need to get rid of resistance. Resistance is weighing you down, and it's guilt and shame and fear. So if you look at somebody who is overweight, for example, and they struggle and they seem to lose that weight as they exercise and they diet, but they put it on again. And this is a yo-yo thing that goes on for 20 years. That's all about resistance. Because if you carry shame, guilt, fear, and you mistreat yourself as in the energy that is not congruent with self-love, appreciation, and feeling worthy, you will manifest that outside of yourself. So you are carrying a lot of resistance, which becomes a heavy load of resistance in the physical world. It is just the same as somebody being in debt financially, but they can be skinny. But the debt that they have is a consequence from feeling unworthy and carrying a lot of guilt, because it's a reflective, contrasting, attractive universe. That's how it works. We are life, we are nature, we are the universe, we are God, we are everything. And everything is a manifestation of what we carry inside ourselves. I like to read, to exercise. I like to exercise. I like to move the energy. I like to change things. I like to transform. I like to swim. I like to take walks. I'm not so much into like powerlifting, but that's me. I do that sometimes. But when I exercise, I usually lay down in the couch and I dream. I dream a lot. I dream. I can dream and I can put myself in such states that I am there, and I can create such wonderful things that I'm laying here on the couch like I have taken whatever, but it's just me. It's just natural, and I cry of joy because it's like a great movie. And one thing that makes me better at that is these kind of things. It's I like teenage fantasy novels because they're digestive and they're not so detailed in the descriptions, so it leaves room for me to fill in and exercise my own imagination, and I love that. But it's all about investment, and it's all about what you generate inside yourself. And if you read a lot of books and you watch a lot of series and movies that involve decapitation and rape, gangbang rape maybe, and child pornography and murder and world destruction, yeah, you impress your subconscious with that, because you will, if you are an emotional human being, sensitive human being, you will generate a feeling just as the prayer and like everything else. And you will consume your own feeling bad as you feel bad when you watch that. And if you watch that enough times, that it becomes mundane to you, that it's like, yeah, I can watch it, it doesn't affect me that much. I watch everything. It's like horrific, the most horrific stuff. It is really graphic too, but it doesn't affect me. That's because you're saturated. And when you're saturated in that fashion, you are insensitive. And when you are insensitive, you are turning off your emotions deliberately. And when you turn off your emotions deliberately, you will struggle with having the intention, the ambition, the thought, and the emotion, and doing the actions that are actually congruent and strong in love, because you have made the choice to be insensitive. And you also, as a side effect, become suspicious towards other people. So the more you entertain these kinds of things inside yourself, the less you will connect with other people, because you will see hidden agendas and deviousness in people all the time, because you impress your subconscious with distrust in the human race and in humanity. So you will even have difficulty talking to people outside at all, like a stranger. Who talks to a stranger? That's sick. Yeah, many people are like that today. And that's all about the fear that they entertain inside themselves, that they project onto other people and say, ooh, that's a shady kind of figure. No, it's you. It's you. It is. You are full of fear, not taking responsibility. But you keep a posture of security and confidence. But that's all fake. Because if you're confident and if you're secure with yourself, you just talk to everybody. You just want to meet everyone. You smile at everyone. The other type of confidence and security, that's immature. That's a teenager acting secure and confident. Somebody secure and confident is like I am right now, just sitting here. And I don't have a fart right now, but I could fart and I wouldn't even make a big deal out of it. I would just continue talking because I wouldn't feel any shame about it. But yeah, I'm just saying that to make a point. I don't have any shame. Why would I be ashamed of myself? Why would I feel any shame at all for my own expression? But I used to be like that because I mistreated myself and I was disloyal to myself and I wasn't humble. So I was struggling and I was having a facade and I was having a mask on of trying to be someone that I thought that I want to be in order to be anything, in order to be approved, to be acknowledged, to be good enough, which is not a recipe for success. The recipe for success is to love, appreciate, and enjoy yourself, which is to love, appreciate, and enjoy your life, which is all about feeling good. And every once in a while, we feel great as well. But then we come back to feeling good. And all of this can be sorted with prayer and reflection and taking notes and making changes and evolving and unfolding. And some might say, well, that's not really my game. I'm not so interested in all of that stuff. I have an interest in other stuff more. Well, why are you living then? Why are you having a human experience? That's really ungrateful. I love making music. I love painting. I love writing. I love a bunch of stuff. But as a human being, I feel that I should have a core interest that should be about my life. I should be interested in my own development and my own understanding of life, because that's what I'm primarily having. And then I do a bunch of stuff as well. To pay attention to your own life and what is actually going on is a responsibility, because it affects everybody. It affects the whole world, because we have a collective consciousness and we have a collective ego. So whatever you impress your subconscious with and feed yourself with is what the world will take part of. So if the majority of people, like 80%, spend like 6 hours a day watching documentaries about child pornography that are really graphic, you are in a sense saying that this is what you wish to experience more of in the world. That's what's happening. You get what you give, and what you give is what you consume, and what you get and what you consume is what is all about what you focus on with your energy, with your intention, ambition, thoughts, emotion, and actions. That's what creates this world. If everybody would just be quiet and just absolutely still and peaceful, the world would stop, right? Nothing would happen. Like all the factories, everything would stop. And if we continue doing that, everything will disintegrate and nature will grow over it. And eventually it would be just us and the animals and the trees and water and nature. We create everything. We create everything. And we do that from what we carry inside and what we value the most and what we invest in. It's a return on investment, which it is for you and me as individuals, but as a collective as well. So if you invest in fear, you will get a fearful society. If you invest in love, you will get a loving society. It is not hard to see. So I hope that this video is being viewed by just one, maybe just one person who really gets this about feeling and prayer, and will see that it changes their life. It will happen fast. And as you pray, things happen. And as you get inspiration and you transform and you act upon that inspiration, you pray again. And you continue to pray positive statements about yourself as well. So you just flip everything inside of yourself, from the negative conditioning to positive, and you will get a reflection of that. All right, almost half an hour. People have extremely low attention span these days. So half an hour is like 8 hours today in comparison to when people were a little bit more relaxed and focused. It's a beautiful day today. Take care of yourself, love yourself, know what love is, pray and stay connected, and everything will be so fantastic. I am powerful, I am great, I am loving, I am beautiful. All things happen to me. All the things that I pray for comes to me. Everything works out for me. God creates redemption. God makes everything straight. God makes everything great, as long as I pay gratitude and I thank God for everything and I give credit to the right source, and then I give myself to love. Try that. It will be amazing. Be humble. I love you. Peace.